Are you good?
I'm always good.
Okay. Compose. Hi there, happy Vlogmas day 23. Matt is actually home today. 23, 23.
I'm home every day.
Well, I mean, you're off today.
Oh.
Goodness gracious. Anyways, he's actually off today for the Christmas holiday, so we thought we would take you around our house and give you a tour of some other handmade, handcrafted things. What do you think? Good idea?
Great idea.
Okay, let's go.
Let's get crafty.
So in no particular order, we're gonna just start with a few things. The first thing is a quilt that I sewed on a sewing machine back when we first moved into the house. And this quilt I've distorted and abstracted some of our favorite places, and then I printed them onto a fabric. So this quilt is a king size quilt and it's in our bedroom, and then I've also made some matching curtains to go with the quilt.
Okay, so since it's Christmas, let's talk ornaments. Back in 1986, I had a teacher that gave these out in her class, and it was the best gift. I've always appreciated it, always loved it, and love hanging it. So years later, 20 years later exactly, Stacy happened to be volunteering in her mom's classroom, so we decided a long time ago that we'd try to duplicate it. And in 2006, we came up with that little creation to give to her students. Welcome to my office. I hope you enjoy. So one of my favorite creations to date is this table. So I've actually made this as a souvenir stop, so every little souvenir that I've gathered throughout my life, or achievement, or things that I've done that's been exciting, I've tried to lay out within this table. So build it from scratch. Used, I don't know if you can see the floor or not, but it's actually a standing work desk, or you can actually sit down. Hello. So I put it up on these stilts. These you can pull the pins, you can drop it down, and then you can sit or stand. So underneath got some little storage space. But what I've done is I've actually laid metal around the outside. It's got glass on the top, but then I built up around the inside to basically give me anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch size of depth to be able to put some things in. So if you watch the blog, you probably know I'm a Pittsburgh fan. So right off the bat, you've got an old Steelers championship beer can that I cut up and laid out and put flat in here. But as we scroll over later, you'll see all kinds of little souvenirs that I've collected over the years. In the center section here, I don't know if you want to swing over here. This I actually dedicated when I made it, so I made it in 2017. I happened to find an old car emblem that has my initials, MCC. Got to have the lightsabers, motorcycles, dirt bikes, all the fun stuff. Dedications to everybody. I mean, even as we walk through here, little Ford symbols and bullets, that's a dedication to my dad when he passed, so he loved his Ford truck. And of course we fired off some rounds, so we put those in there too. Maybe scrolling back that way, you've got some other dedications to his military service, and also some of my mom's favorite stuff, Holly Hobby, and of course Mickey Mouse. But anyway, we'll scroll through the whole table as we go, but there's lots of stuff in here that I've just collected over the years, or some of my favorite things. So another favorite piece that I put together, my father-in-law actually found an old gas pump. I didn't find it, he actually asked a gas station and they gave it to him, so that was awesome. So free stuff here, built some wood blocks. These are actually left over from our stairs, the banisters. I cut the bottoms off so they have a nice little grain finish to them. Ran some power through it, dropped off a little Edison bulb, and now I get a little workspace for when it gets dark in here. I shouldn't be working when it's dark, but apparently we do. But in either case, it's also got a little dedication to not only the gas pump, but some of my old favorite toys. Matter of fact, I think this was Stacy's. And then got some of my old cars too. I actually do collect like old Tootsie toys and all that kind of stuff. So I have a ton of these things. Some I actually take all the paint off, polish up, get some of the details, but I think they look really cool as bare metal. But in either case, another toy, another creation. In the corner of my office is actually one of my favorite refurbished pieces. So this was actually some old shelving from IKEA that we had when we first got married. We've kept it, it's lasted, it's structurally sound, but it was an old birch shelf prior. And what I did was actually paint everything, added in rivets so that it gave this more metallic airplane type of effect. And then I actually took little brush strokes of alcohol ink over top of it as well. So on the side, I did the same thing, but I also added some like furnace tape, like not duct tape, but actual duct tape, to the side too, to give it more of the stretchy look like that. Not stretchy, I don't know why I said that. But in either case, kind of, threw some rivets in. It took forever to put these rivets in. I'm just gonna say I have a hand riveter, and it took a long time. But in the end, I thought it actually turned out really good. And of course, it allows me to display some of my stuff. It looks pretty fancy right now. Normally it's trashed, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, while we're talking creations, might as well show this guy. So this was actually, that's the brake light of an old car, an old jack, and then some old opera glasses type of thing. So that was just a quick little creation too. So somehow over the years, I accumulated street signs for everywhere that I've lived so far. Not authentic, just for the record, but what I've done is converted them into shelving. So Stacy was kind enough to catch up on some of these. So Lake Street is where I grew up, Thompson Avenue is where I grew up. So if you remember all the barn doors upstairs in her studio, this is all just leftover wood from those. So I took those, made some shelves. Those will eventually go on here. And of course, more display room to put my junk. So, fun little project.
Moving upstairs, not in the studio, which is back behind us, but just outside of the studio, we have a cozy little loft area where we spent a lot of our time. And Matt actually made most of the furniture up here. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you that. So this furniture is made out of pallets that they were discarding. So he brought them home, took the pallets apart, and try not to make you dizzy, made furniture out of it.
Don't forget to show them your heart.
This table is right next to the couch where I normally sit. And so Matt specifically made this out of a little wood that had some a heart shape in it rather.
I just thought I'd share a couple of the details related to this one. Actually really simple to do. It's actually just two pallets flipped upside on top of each other. And if you look at the details, I threw a couple pocket screws in here to hold them together on the sides. Distressed it quite a bit, stained it, found some casters, actually a place called Caster Connection in Columbus, Ohio. Really cool shipping there. And then up here you can see like all the little divot marks. Stacy and I took out a little aggression on the table prior to, but in the end, I thought it actually turned out pretty nice. Real simple project.
So I know all of you've seen the studio many times before, and I will link the complete studio video tour that we did where it's going to go into a lot more detail about each of these pieces. But the majority of these pieces are definitely handmade or handcrafted in some extent or another. So, quick tour. panning over this way, we have the place where I keep my record player and the ink, watercolor paints, things like that. But this we refurbished, so we didn't actually build this complete piece. We refurbished it and put the tin in it, and then of course painted everything and just dressed it up nicely.
Let's be clear, it was pretty distressed prior to it.
Right, this is my second work table, if you will, but this slate on top of it came from Matt's childhood pool table. So we tore the table apart and put the slate on top of it, and don't mind the rest of the mess, but this is studio for you. And then underneath it, of course, I have a ton more storage. And then back on top, I have this handy little suitcase here where I have a bunch of sewing stuff and things like that. And again, just a refurbished old suitcase for more storage. All right, then behind that second workstation is my sink, utility sink, and more, again, obviously more storage. I have a ton of storage in this studio. It's what's fantastic about it. And a pegboard where I have a lot more tools, and the pegboard I actually painted in fun, bright colors because gotta have color in the studio. This is my huge, massive main encaustic work table. This is what's in 99% of the videos. It is made out of a large sheet of plywood that we painted white, put a glass top over it. But what holds this whole piece up is a couple handmade pieces of wood. Wood's not handmade. The shelves are handmade, and then we refurbished an entire set of map drawers. These map drawers were in very bad shape. In fact, matter of fact, we got one of the sets for completely free. They were in such bad shape. But we refurbished them, and that's what holds up one end, and then the other end is held up by some custom made shelves that Matt made. And then I have a huge space underneath to run all electrical cords and everything fun like that. This is where I keep a lot of my encaustic paintbrushes, my inks, things like that. But what I wanted to show you on this is this paint storage. Now this canvas piece I sewed, and I custom made it to store various different oil paints and brushes and a few other tools that I use.
Hey, what are you working on there?
Oh, goodness, wow, hello. This is my large table, work desk, where I do all my video editing and answering emails. I have my computer, but at any rate, it is made out of wood and of course some galvanized pipe from the hardware store. And last but not least in the studio are the barn doors. The backdrop that you've seen me do many introductions and ending to videos. These massive barn doors hide a lot of storage behind each door. And they're on casters, so they slide really easily. Again, if you want more information on these and the storage behind the doors, I will link it below.
Some of our neighbors might wonder why I'm pointing a camera outside in the middle of the winter. But it's to show one more project, some of our larger projects around the house. Not the tree, but the shed behind it, we built that as well. So Stacy actually did all the painting. We did a copper roof on the top, and it's a good 12 by 20, tall enough to stand in, with a loft to stand in as well. Great for storage. A tighter space, but one of the other decent sized projects that we took on. This is actually our side entrance to the house, and of course, who doesn't want a little mudroom with some storage? So we did that. Put this in basically using some 2x4s, some scribes. Put your hooks on. Cut it around the light switches. Added a nice hickory bench, nice and thick piece of wood there. And then of course your sliding doors as well, which hold cleaning supplies and junk like that. One last bit in here. This is Stacy fidgeting. Instead of a fidget spinner, she actually twisted all of her old fabric pieces, yarns, things like that. And this is the end result when you twist them all together and then actually sew. I don't know if you can see the threads on there, but she's actually then sewn each of those long things together to create an entire long piece of rug. Looks really cool on the floor.
Moving on to the guest areas in our house, I crocheted this queen size comforter that is on, of course, the guest bed. And then also up top here, these pillows I ordered from Spoonflower, but they're of a painting that I painted a while back to go with, of course, the colors in the room. Moving on to our second guest bedroom, we created a bench out of my old twin beds, my old childhood twin beds to be specific. So we went from this to this. And we used, like I said, my old twin beds, some extra wood, and then a bunch of my husband's and my baby clothes, and I have some doll clothes mixed in there, and my old baby blanket.
Hey, bye for now!
No, not yet! Where are you going? You have to tell me when you're going. You do this all the time.
Going the whole time.
Okay, good. All right, guys.
See, now I like I have no idea.
Back off.
Studio Stacy.
Yes.
Back off, man.
Back up, I said.
Back up.
Are you good?
I'm always good.
Okay. So, stop that. Hope you enjoyed that little tour of the things that are handmade and handcrafted in our house. If you have any questions on any of it, let us know down below in the description, or not in the description, in the comments, in the comment section. Let us know if you have any questions. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do. Thumbs up. We will see you for one more Vlogmas, guys. One more. I can't believe it's almost over. But anyways, we will see you tomorrow for one more Vlogmas.
In case I don't make the next cut, bye for now and happy holidays.